Yeah, we can go start our session. This is the first session today. We will see a brief about the IPS. Let me share my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, yes.
First, we will go with the course curriculum. Yeah, in this IRPA training, we are going to see the brief sessions about the introduction of SAP Intelligent RPA and the introducing solution and tools, onboarding the administration, and SAP Intelligent RPA Cloud Studio introduction, or how the automations are going to run, and the desktop agent, how the automation ecosystem is defined by an SAP, and how the desktop agent is running, how the automation is working in IRPA. Those details are we are going to see in brief in the coming sessions. And the products based and what are the best practices SAP are given for this ARPA to migrate and support. And I'm sure you also go through these modules. We have 8 modules. We will first start with the product overview. The agenda of this section is to briefly explaining about the SAP Intelligent Process Automation, which is nothing but an IRPA. First, we will go through the introductions, then we will explore more on the solutions and which tool is going to work in an IRPA and with the SAP BTP platform and other things. Introduction to RPA. What is RPA? Yeah, RPA is helping in the digital transformation of business by automatically replicating the tedious actions that has no added values, which means RPA automates the manual interaction process that where the actions by the human is not added more values, which means in a real time, if in an industry like an automotive industry or in any other the IT industry or SAP modules such as where the humans is not going to interact, the human interaction is not helpful, then we are going to implement an RPA and we are going to automate those process. We are going to automate those process with an IRPA. Yeah, for this best example, the real-time example is automating the HR process in SAP Success Factors. SAP Success Factors is nothing but an SAP HR module. So that we are going to see in details about how the automation is going to work on such scenarios, and the integrating SAP IRPA with companies portals like a leave application and the leave approval process and SAP S4 finance, SAP S4 HANA system for finance and account automation. These are all the automation scenarios that which we are going to look in this session. And coming to the RPA introduction, are you clear, guys, why we are going to implement the RPA and what is the process about the RPA and the definition of the RPA?
Two things like RPA and IRPA. So you are speaking about IRPA or else like RPA?
Yeah, RPA is a module which is separate. It's nothing but an the automation of the process in which the manual interruptions or where the manual interaction is not needed. The IRPA is the intelligent robotic process automation, which it will conversion of the AI makes the interactions with more helpful with the robots like an what I can say, with the bots or some of the.
Okay, so you mean like mostly we are using IRPA for SAP process only, or else like we can use it any like for all the websites or anything else?
No, we are going to use with only for the SAP products.
SAP products. So it will be more
Yes,
convenient to use for SAP products only,
yes, yes.
right?
Within an
Okay.
SAP products only, we will be going to use this IRPA. Actually, the
So
IRPA is a complete automation suite where the software robots are designed to mimic the humans replicating actions that has no added values.
yeah, okay.
The main motive and the agenda of this IRPA is it helps to reduce the human errors and save efforts and time. This is the main motive of this IRPA. Despite the SAP has implemented this service for an automation process. Now we are going to see from the manual task to the automation. What are the industries that we are the right now in a real time? What are the industries are using this automation that we are going to look at? In a textile industry and in an automotive industry, or in a large warehouse like in an Apple or in any some of the other. Yeah, now we are going to see about the manual task to an automation. What are all the manual tasks that we are going that the industries are automated in an some of the textile industries and the automotive industries and then the other warehouses, the large warehouses where the manual humans are going to do their work instead of that the robots or the bots are going to do their works. That's what in a large warehouse in a textile and automotive industry such as in a textile industry, uh, the process, the conversion of from the manual task to automation. Yeah, and we are going to see about what are all the industries that the automation is handled and how they are converting the manual task from an automation in a textile industry where the bots that are used for an automation and the characterized of the manual task in large warehouse also. Automation into robots or alternative humans from respective tasks, enhancing product efficiency. Information technology application developed independently without seamless integration and the increased application dependency. Users constantly switch between the applications, leading to manual effort and inefficiency. Actually, what the manual task and the automation task, what's the difference between the manual task as a more interaction to the some of the applications or some of the integration with the services, they have to traverse to multiple systems within the SAP or within the some of the modules. They have to collect more information, they have to gather the information and they have to put it in one such box. Like that, the we are going to automate those processes from to gathering the data or gathering the some user information, and we are going to apply those things in an other box, which is in the destination box. This is the transformation from the manual task to the automation. Yeah. What are all the business values that we are going to get in this RPA from this automations? The main motive or the values that we are from the business sides is improve the operations, introducing lot of automation tools that will helps to improve the production support process and the models, and it will be modelize the production supports, and it will remove the and it will mobilize the resource for high value tasks and allow the parallelization process. It will be more helpful. The time as well as the efficiency of the cycle will be more reduced. From the reduced cycle time, from the business value perspective, the reduced cycle times improves overall process efficiency, cut over the execution time, generate immediate savings. Introduction of automation tools like CI/CD pipeline, it helps to implement the solution to production and faster to the market. Example, earlier we will be using the waterfall method. Now we are using the CI/CD pipeline to move the codes as well as the modules which we are developed in a project to the production. It will make the production faster to the market and increase compliance and service quality. What are the complaints that we can avoid and how the quality of the services can be improved by this? What are the complaints that we can avoid means we can reduce the human errors. Example, in an online medical submission form, earlier we will be online medical claim submission form. Earlier we will be filling all those forms as well as we will be submitting those forms. Once the form is submitted, it will be verified by a human or verified by some of the representatives in their company, and it will take more time for an approvals. Now they have if they have introduced the bots or the automation like an IRPA tool, they will be getting their forms and it will automatically collect the information from the forms which we have submitted. Then it will take a less amount of time to achieve or less amount of time to process the claim. Yeah. And the batch PO creation is one of the another example which we are using in an SAP module. The batch PO creation is nothing but the purchase order creation in a batch, kind of a batch request. In SAP, while the purchase order creation process is done, the user will submit a the user will submit process or it will they will create a request continuously. How the purchase orders are created within a batch process, those things are automated, and these processes are the complaints, and it will improve the services and the qualities. Gateway to AI. Automation also helps to modify the unstructured data to the structured data, which helps to input the AI system. Yeah, what are the unstructured data, and it will be structurized the data to the AI system. For an example, if we are going to create a purchase order that is run by an bots. Okay. If it's run by an bot, the data should be a structured format by which the system can be accepted. That's what. Yeah. That's what they will be convert those unstructured data to the structured data by how the actual service can or how the bots can identify or how it can understand. Then it will create a purchase order by a batch in a system, then it will generate a sales order report. Now we are going to see about the use cases that where the IRPA is executed or IRPA is implemented in and technologies are in and any some of the industries. For a now we can take a real-time example as a web scripting. How the web scripting will do means the web scripting will collect the data from each and every forms or each and every base that we have submitted or requested. From that, it will get the information and it will allows the user to get the scripting format in a sequential form. That's the typical use case for this IRPA. And the other example is extract the various data such as Excel, PDF, external apps, or third parties websites that will be entering to the finance system, and it will create a purchase order or sales order information. Download various reports and collect data in saved or shared drive. For this, let's take an example of the Google Drive or some of the drives which we are available in the market. From that, we are initializing a bot that to take data from a different drive locations, and it has to be saved in a one shared drive which we are configured in a system, so that if we implement a manual process for that, it would take some time, and it will the human will also do some of the errors, so that to avoid those interruption as well as to avoid those latency, we are going to implement a bots to download the reports and to collect, and it will be to collect and save it in a shared drive. Check ticket inbox in a shared service center and route to bots. The ticket inbox in a shared service center that will be routes from the bots for the from the SAP system, and it will be routes from the bots to the other system. Log into 15 SAP instances, collect purchase order request and distribute to SSC systems. That's what the earlier we have discussed about the purchase order. The purchase order information will be in multiple systems or the multiple SAP instances, and that will collect those information from those instances, and it will create a purchase order with those information within the subsequent of times without a human intervention. Use case and typology. The tedious process which we are doing right now is the manual interaction for the processes such as the purchase order creation as well as the web the online medical form submission, the PO creation, as well as the leave approval process. That are the tedious process that we are handling right now. But how the use cases that will be differ from the tedious process as well as the IRPA or the automations. What are all the key points or key outcomes that will be getting in this automations? first thing is we will be reducing the human errors, and it will save the efforts as well as the time for this when we implement the automations. Now we are going to see about the use cases that not use a robot. Okay. Here, what are the use case they have given? Actually, user fills out a form on an internal site from their local desktop. Support team gets the request. Support team inputs data manually in an asset management system. It will take 2 days of SLA to need to acknowledge the request. This is the process which we have right now. Once we fill out the form in an internal site, then for this, we can take a real-time example of a ticket or the RATM ticket which you have created in your company. When you have created a RATM ticket, you will be filling some of the forms with the details, and you will be assigning to one of the teams. Once you assign the request to the team will get those data and they will provide the access. Minimum it will take 1 or 2 days SLA time to approve those requests or to provide the access for the system. For that, what SAP is telling, why we are not going to do as in a manual process. We can actually implement a robot, which is nothing but a bot to the process. Once we submit the form, it will get all the information from all the details from the form, and it will traverse those details to the respective teams, and it can be automatically access, give the access, submit the access, or uh, grant the access to the user within certain period of time. The time and the latency will be more reduced while implementing the bots. Yes, if you have any doubts, please ask me. We can. Is that fine? Were you able to get the context of this IRPA? Now we have seen about the use case that does not use any bot. Okay. Now we are going to see the use case about where the bots has been implemented in a SAP system. User fills out the form in an internal system or from a local desktop site. Robot takes a charge of reading 100 plus forms and input from the inputs and collect the information from the collect the information, and it will traverse to the destination system. The support team will follow the request. It will take the quick remediations. We will get a quick remediation from implementing the bot that we have seen the IRTM or ATM tickets which you can create it for the access any other laptop request. We can take as a example use case as a laptop request. If you want a laptop, or if you want to change a laptop in your company, you will be creating one of the requests where you will be typically we will be filling the forms, we will be submitting those requests, and it will the request will be going to the respective purchase team, or it has to be purchased. It will go to the proportion team. First, it will get a manager approval. Once the manager approvals are done, then the procurement team will get those success. Then it has to be, go to the other teams and will get an approval. For that, we will be implementing a bot. From the bot, it will the latency of time is also reduced, and bot can helps the process to complete more effectively. That's what we are going. That's what the SAP has given the IRPA module for the users. Yeah. The same concept in the slide. We will go to the next one. What are the use case that constraints? It is too expensive to add a user-friendly interface in the asset management system. These are the constraints that while implementing the IRPA, it will be too expensive and to add a user-friendly interface. When we are going to add an NES such a third-party user interface system, that will be more expensive and it will be take a lot of efforts and the human efforts to complete or to be worked on those interfaces. For that, we will be going to, for that, if the IRPA or the bots has been implemented there, it will be more easy to work on the systems. No time to add a web service between two applications. If in such a scenario we having a multiple applications where it has to collect the data or it has to traverse between the multiple applications, there will be getting more times switch between those applications or some of the between those systems. For that, if we implement a bot, it will be more easily complete all those actions. No time for migration is planned, but some years of now. The migration that from the typical system to the IRPA is more, it takes a more time and it has to be planned from now for the several years. Once for that, if we introduce IRPA in our system as a service in a BTP, it will be more helpful to achieve those things. Here we have a purchase order creation manual steps. What are the steps that are included while creating a purchase orders? Typically, once the user request or once a user create a request from an portal or any of the front-end applications, user may create a request. We will be receive many purchase order in email every day. We need to identify and filter out them. Once the filter process is completed, we need to understand the information and extract the relevant data from the documents and store them in a task list. And we have to, and while after that entering to the ERP system, manually record the purchase order in your ERP system, navigating through the different screens and typing the order information. Repetitive order creation is a manual process. Repetitive order creation from the manual process caused to the error or prone tasks lead to the long queues and frustrated the employees and the customers as well. This means that once the purchase order is creating by the manual process, it will cause an repetitive errors as well as it will lead to long queues and it will take some time to implement those order creation. So that we will be automating the purchase order creation from the manual process to the automation. Once we submit a spreadsheet with a purchase order information, it will move, the bots will collect all the information from the spreadsheet and it will fill out the forms in a system, then it will move to the SAP S/4HANA ERP system. It will create a purchase order subsequently with a repetitive task. What are all the four main use cases? What are the four main modules, or what are all the four main points that we have to look into this IRPA? Manual and repetitive task is more, it's not more efficient. If we get into the high volume of data, it will be more hectic for the users. When we are traversing and we are switch between the multiple systems, that will also more hectic to the users and collect the information from the multiple systems. Workaround for native integration. From this, will be working around from the native integration app to the IRPA implementation. Key concepts of SAP Intelligent RPA: orchestration and monitoring. This is a cloud-based solution powered by SAP technology platform. No deployment is required, just a web browser. Project development for process automation. You deploy this component only on process automation developer workstation, executing the process automation. These are all the steps that will be involved while we're creating an automation process, and how the process is start and end. These are all the steps is involved. Before to that, first we will log into our SAP BTP business technology platform, and we will see how the services and the instances that can be added in our SAP BTP, and how the BPA business process automation lobbyist looks, so that we will be logging to our SAP global account. This is an SAP BTP. Okay. Guys, any one of you know about the SAP BTP platform? Do you have any knowledge about this?
No.
Sorry, Asna, do you have any knowledge about this?
No, not me.
Oh, you are new to BTP, right? Everyone.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, Adarsh.
Okay. Actually, first we will go through what is the SAP BTP and how the SAP BTP is structured, how we can create a global account, and in a global account we have some of the sub accounts. From the sub account we will be having the most services and instances for each and every modules as a service. Then we will be moving to the build process automation service. Okay, because why I am getting into this BTP platform and I'm going to this BPA means you should have a good knowledge in BTP, how the BTP landscape is designed. Then you will be getting more, or you will be getting more helpful to work on the BPA services. These both are tied up with the services as well as the instances that we have created, that we are going to create in an BPA project. Actually, the BTP landscape is designed with a 3-tier architecture. The first tier it's a global account. In a global account, we will be having a n number of entitlements. Entitlements is nothing but what are all the services available in a BTP. Those services will allocated as a units in an entitlements from the BTP landscape. We have to add those entitlements from the global account to the sub accounts. What are the sub accounts that we are going to create here? Okay. The entitlements we may not see in our system because it's an security restriction. The user has a restriction for this to add and delete the units for the entitlements. So we may not able to see here. We will be seeing in a trial account. Okay. And apart from this global account, we will be seeing the security options as well as the boosters. Boosters is nothing but, if you see, before going to the boosters, we will go briefly discuss about the account explorers. Here, these are all the global accounts or informations that available in a home screen. This is a home screen. In this, if you see, there are two tenants, which is a SAP BPA as a tenant and the SAP DMC as the another one tenant. These are all the sub accounts is nothing but a tenants which we are going to create for our services. If we are going to create a tenant which is specific to the service, that is also fine. But in a real time, we will be creating a tenant for the development as well as the testing phase and the production phase. This is the sub accounts, or this is the tenants we will be that will be created in a real-time scenario. Yeah, boosters. Boosters is nothing but a boosters is nothing but the process, or the process of creating a services by themselves is running behind the SAP BTP landscape. How means, if we search for a BPA, build process automation, in this boosters, when we here we will be not getting this build process automation. Maybe SAP has removed those boosters from this. Yeah, set up extension suite, SAP build process automation free. Yeah. This is the book. Yeah. For our service, SAP BTP, for our build SAP BPA, the step-by-step process, the booster will automatically configure the entitlements and it defines the quotas for each and every entitlements, and it will create required roles for the users in a background, automatically enables the cloud foundry and creates a default space for this build process automation service. This is the background job that will run in a boosters. Okay, now we have seen about the global account. Then we will be moving to the sub accounts. Sub accounts is, as we discussed earlier, sub account is nothing but the tenants that we will be creating for the service first, with respect to the service, or as we can able to create for the project specific also. In a sub account, the overview of, we will see about the overview of the sub account. This is an overview. Here we have all the information about the sub-accounts. Here the sub-account has created for the SAP BPA, which has a general information like what is the subdomain, tenant IDs, sub-account IDs, and the other server accesses. That and what are the providers? Actually, we have to talk more about the providers. One of the famous providers is the AWS, Amazon Web Service, Google Cloud Platform, and Alibaba are all the providers that are the system providers or the tenants providers that that we have can able to create a sub accounts. Here we are coming to a SAP Business Technology Platform. Cloud Foundry is an environment that has an multiple services within a sub account, and we will be allocating a space. From the space, we will be deploying our project or the applications which are developed in a BPA business build process automation, and from that we will be accessing those deployed project via the Fiori Launchpad. These are all the entitlements that have allocated for the sub accounts, for the BPA sub accounts. You will be see all those information here. Next, we will be going to the services. What are the services that are available for the sub accounts? We will be getting those things in the service marketplace. Service marketplace is nothing but the available services in a BTP platform that we can find here. If we want to subscribe to these services, then we have to click on those links and we have to create. From the creation of the services, we will be creating instances as well as the applications that we are going to work on this BPA. The creation services that can be looked in this instances and subscriptions tab. Here, the SAP Build Process Automation has been subscribed for our project for this training, and the instances for the same has been created. And the instances is created to access this SAP BPA with a creation of destinations and the other services within the BTP. Next to the services, we have a Cloud Foundry. Here in Cloud Foundry, we have spaces. Here the spaces is we have a 200 gig of memory and nothing but multiple services that can be added to the spaces. As we earlier discussed, these spaces required to deploy our project that we are developed in a BPA, and we will be going to work on these projects that we are developed. These allocation will hold here. Spaces and quotas. Right now, the quotas are not created. That has to be. These are all the org members. Yeah, we have to talk more about the org members. Once the sub account has been created, we can assign multiple users to this org, and those users as their roles, and the as a role collections that users has a more role collections where he can access the multiple services in BPA. And what are all the actions that can perform in this sub accounts. HTML5 application is nothing but if you are going to create a SAP UI5 Fiori application, that will be holding here in this HTML5 application as a central repository. Connectivity tab is nothing but the destinations and the destination plus and the cloud connectors. Destination is nothing but while we connecting to the multiple systems, we will be having a central destination here. From this destination URL, we'll be connecting to the multiple services with the client ID or client secrets or the basic authorizations. What are the authorizations that we are configured in the destinations that can be accessed to the multiple systems? And the cloud connectors is nothing but a connector from the cloud to the on-prem system. Whether if we are going to connect a S4 HANA system within our SAP BTP, SAP BTP technology, SAP BTP landscape, we'll be creating a cloud connectors. From the cloud connectors, we'll be connecting to the on-prem as well as the cloud system. Securities. In the security tabs, we will be find what are all the users that are added to this sub account and what are all the access that has been granted to these users. You see, these are all the role collections that has been granted to this user. Cloud administrator, connectivity and destination administrator, sub account administrator, process automation admin. We will find all those information here. Role collections is nothing but what are all the roles that are respective to the services which is available in this BTP. For the roles has been determined here. From this role collection, we have to assign those roles to the user which we have added to this sub account. Roles is nothing but the same as the roles collections. Yeah. The trust configuration is the other part. What are the configurations that what are the identity providers? Yeah, the identity providers we are going to use for this sub account for the services. By default, the SAP will be providing as a SAP default identity provider. Apart from this, we can able to create any other identity providers for the other services. And the entitlements. Entitlements is nothing but which we have spoken before. From the global account, what are the units are allocated there? Those entitlements will added here and added to the sub account quota, and we can able to search or we can divide all those shared units with these entitlements. Yeah, this is the brief explanation about the sub accounts. Now we will be launching the SAP Build Process Automation lobby. Guys, this is the lobby that is meant for the SAP Build Process Automation. Here we can see the multiple tabs that have given in the left and in the center of the screen we have a create and what are all the projects that has been created right now that we can see here. Apart from this, we have more options to add boards, as well as monitor the boards, how we can able to install the boards. Those things can be monitored in this control tower, as well as the monitoring tab and the stores that we will be discussed in detail now. Here in the connectors action tab, if we create a project and if the project is run here, we will be able to see what are the actions that has been performed from the project, and those actions can be monitored here. Automation SDK is nothing but when we create any automation services from the SDK such as Outlook SDK, Microsoft Excel SDK, PDF SDK, those automations can be monitored in this automation SDK. And this store, SAP has given a pre-built projects. This is a pre-built project that you can use in your project. You can add these projects with your development scenarios to avoid more efficient in their work. Monitor tab. A monitor tab is nothing but once we start the process, once the workflow is running, then we can monitor the process with this monitor. Sorry for the session has been interrupted. Yeah, process and workflow tile instances. For this, actually we can monitor those what are all the workflows that is running right now, and what are all the workflows that are created that has been started from the system that we can monitor in this monitor tab. And apart from this, automation jobs is running or any events is running. Those things are, as well as the business rules, what are all the decisions that we have created for the approval process, as well as the data that we are going to use within the workflows that can be monitored in this monitor tab. Yeah, control tower is nothing but the automations or the destinations we have created, or the mail servers configured, the tenant details, agents or agent groups, the bot agents, and the other API keys which we have configured for this workflows that can be monitored in this control tower tab. Guys, if you have any question, please stop me. Ganesh, do you have any question?
No others, I have.
Yeah. Anyone, any others, do you have any question? Do you have any, you have clearly understand about the SAP BTP platform, right? The three-tier architecture which we have spoken there. One is a global account. In a global account, we have a sub-account. In a sub-account, we have a services, nothing but a build process automation as a services, SAP UFA as a services, integration suite as a service.
Uh,
Yeah, please go ahead.
yeah, like to be frank, it was like huge things to understand. Like I was not able to follow up with this BTP cockpit, and there are a lot of things to understand in that. So majorly so majorly in BTP Corp, as far as I understood, like I'll try to say what it is. Like BTP cockpit mainly deals with the user accounts where we create our SAP build process automation, and they give access to those like will act as a tenant over there, where we can share our access and roles and responsibilities and everything, if I'm not wrong,
Yeah,
right?
correct. Actually, not only the BPA, here in BTP, we have multiple services. The BPA is one of the services. The build process automation is one of the services. Apart from this, we have a CAPM as a service. You may have heard as a CAPM, right? Cloud Application Programming Management. That is also comes under the BTP. SAP UI5 as a service, that also comes under the BTP. And the other processes like integration suite, which will be connecting to the multiple systems. We are using the integration cloud, SAP CPA, cloud platform integration. Those things also comes under the BTP. Actually, the BTP holds a multiple services. From the services, we will be accessing our BTP instances, and we are connecting to the systems. We will be executing our roles as you said, right? And we will be executing our BPAs as a services, and the other modules like CAPM and the other things that can be all combined in the BTP platform.
Yeah, and so like as you said, uh, so this BTP cockpit majorly designed for only IRPA process, right?
No, not like that.
Mhm.
Actually, it's not. The BTP cockpit is designed for all the BTP services.
Okay.
In this training, we are looking only for the IRPA.
Okay, so it consists of different services, but majorly we are focusing on this
Yes,
BPA service
yes,
only.
yes.
Okay, so our major concern like how we create an account in the BTP cockpit for BPA service and everything. So you are explaining all those things, right?
Yeah, I will be explaining actually in this so in this survey that has given from the ZaranTech, that we will be all the setups has been done. We will be looking all those things in our trial account, how to create a global account, how to create a sub account, and from the sub account how we will be creating a services, and how we will be assigning the roles to the services, that we will be looking in detail in the further sessions. Okay,
Oh, okay, fine.
because in this
Yeah,
survey,
that's where like I was a bit confused.
yeah.
Like
In the
everything was
ZaranTech
already.
server, yeah, Pani, the ZaranTech server, actually you will be getting all the services that has been added as a pre-build. Okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Thanks.
but we will look in
So,
detail.
Adarsh, I have a question here. Earlier, you gave an example if multiple POs needs to be created, then we will go for automation, right? So my
Yes.
question here is in BTP, we will create the service. So how it is going to connect with the S4 system?
Okay. First, in connectivity perspective, from the cloud BTP to S4 system connections will be connecting from the cloud connectors. Okay. That's the one point. And apart from this, how the multiple POs, purchase order creation, is done is through the agents. Is it through the desktop agents? That's the next topic that we are going to discuss about.
Okay.
We will see all those things in a real-time scenarios, as well as we will run a bot to approve all those processes, create a purchase orders. All those things we will be looking in detail in this session, in the coming session.
And,
Okay.
and I have one more question. So this
Yes.
SAP IRPA is only compatible with S4 HANA, or can we connect this with our old ECC 6.0 or 5.0?
Yes, we can connect to the ECC also. Yes.
Okay. So whether database is not HANA,
No,
okay.
no. Yeah, we can
So
connect to the
is it
SAP
mandatory
ECC.
the database should be HANA, or we can connect to Oracle or some other DB?
Anything, any DB is fine. Hello, Akshay.
Yeah, Adarsh.
Yeah, can you hear
Yeah,
me,
it is
right?
clear now. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. We can
It is
connect to
clear.
the any DB. DB is nothing constraint here. Okay. We can connect to SAP ECC as well as the S/4HANA or the Oracle database.
And is it compatible with BW as well? SAP BW?
No.
Okay.
Oh. Any others? Do you have any questions about this SAP BTP platform? And now we have seen about the SAP BTP landscape, and we have traversed to the SAP Build Process Automation lobby. Then we will see how the project for the SAP Build Automation is created and how we are executing the bots there with an desktop agent, and how the approval process is there, how we are automating those processes in these workflows that we are going to see in a detail. Before to that, we will see a brief architecture or the high level architecture of the deployment in the SAP BTP platform. Yeah, I have shared my screen. Here, this is the box which we are going to deploy our SAP BPA, Build Process Automation projects in an SAP Business Technology platform. Okay. In an SAP Business Technology platform that we have discussed the spaces, right? In those spaces, that within an allocated quotas, we are going to deploy our projects. And once the projects has been deployed, we can monitor those projects and we can execute those process, um, and orchestrations can be done those processes. And the project development is done in an SAP PPA lobby that we have seen now, the lobby screen, right? That has been done, developed. The development of the project is done in a lobby. And what are all the cloud partners that was tied up with this SAP BTP platform is AWS, as well as the Azure, Microsoft Azure, SAP Google Cloud Platform. GCP is also tied up with as a cloud partners, and the Alibaba is also tied up with the cloud partners. Cloud partners. Okay. Once we create a sub account with those services, we can select which cloud partners to be served for us, and which where we are going to work on those services like a BPA in our BTP platform. Once these bots and the agents are installed, then we're going to execute those bots within a system, and we are going to monitor those bots. These are all the high level deployment IRPA deployment process. We have came into the summary of the IRPA key assets. If you look at the slide, the functional coverage, attended and unattended use cases. Attended and unattended use cases in the sense, we can monitor that what are all the attended scenarios, what are the bots has been executed in those process that can be monitored as an attended scenario, and what are the bots that has not been executed, that is in the unattended scenario. Built with JavaScript plus extensible framework. Yeah, for some of the crucial scenarios, like when we are going to create an project like connecting with the multiple sub process, or connecting with the SDKs like an Excel SDK, Outlook SDK, or with a multiple SDKs, there is a minimal of JavaScript code is required. That we will see in this session. That's not a big task. And the several technologies with the flavors leverages visual protocols simple to verify complex projects. That's what we discussed, the purchase order creation. It's a crucial process. This can be simplified with this PPA. Maintenance and scalability. Maintenance is also a very crucial point in a project perspective. Once this workflow has been created and it's executed from the system, then we have to monitor those workflows, how it's running, and how the approvals, how the bots is executing. Those things can be maintained in the monitor tab, and the error and change direction, graphical designs of this development. Debugger is also there, remote diagnosis and analysis. Performance, low memory footprint, fast response time. Built-in SAP supports are SAP GUI, Windows, SAP S/4HANA, SAP UI5. These are all the built-in support for this SAP BPA. Integration and deployment. Powered by SAP Build Process Automation. Powered by SAP Business Technology Platform. Building on usage, no license required for on-premise components, help portal. This integration and deployment can be done, it has to be done in an SAP BTP platform, and the billing and usage has been monitored. No license required for the on-premise components. The help portal, the SAP help portal is there to support our solutions, or we can refer those solutions in an SAP help. IRP related tools and products. What are all the tools and products that has to be installed in our machine to run these bots? To execute a bot, we need a desktop agent. That is a attended bot and unattended bot. Cloud Factory, Cloud Studio, monitor and assemble process automation, manage agent hierarchies, monitor the bots, project assemble, configure and distribute packages from the studio. These are all the we have as we already look into there. We have a pre-built project that we can use in our actual scenarios. Those things are the tools that we have available as a predefined products. And the desktop studio, integrated development environment, process analysis, project design specification, test, user interface design. When it's coming to the user interface design, we in an BPA tool, in an BPA lobby, we can be able to create a form, the approval process, and the subtask, automation process, and all those things. A user has to fill those forms while approving, or the user has to fill those forms while creating a task. Those things we are going to look into detail in a coming session. Desktop agent. Desktop agent is the heart of this SAP BPA. Without this desktop agent, we can't run this bots. Desktop agent can work with a wide range of application and technologies, like web applications, custom application built with native window APIs, JavaScript applications, terminal applications, and so on. Technologies with access to dedicated applications such as Microsoft Office or SAP applications, any other SAP applications. The desktop agent that we are discussing here is nothing but a bot that is going to run in an real time to achieve all our requirements. And these bots can be run in the web applications as well as the custom applications like native window APIs, Java-based applications also it can be run, terminal applications and so on. Yeah. Next, we go to this solutions and tools that desktop agent and the digital assistant. Okay. Before going to this solution and tools, we will see how this desktop agent is configured in our RDP, and we will check that whether we have installed the desktop agent in our RDP or not. First, we have to see that the desktop agent is installed or not. Then we will move to these topics. Okay. Yeah.